One more time, good morning. Welcome to Chesapeake College, or welcome back for those of you that took the summer off. As hopefully all of you know by now, my name is Cliff Coppersmith. I am your new president. Just a couple of housekeeping things to start off with. We do have one special attendee this morning, Mr. Reza Jafari. Reza, would you please stand up? Reza is our new trustee representing Talbot County. I also would like to introduce a very special person I think some of you have had a chance to meet, my wife, Kathy. She will be so happy when this is over with. She's heard this address probably about 3 or 4 times. She's my first guinea pig. One last thing, I just want to briefly mention that like the rest of the counties around us, we are going purple in the month of September. There's been some information disseminated by Lucy Hughes. We are joining this effort, taking some time and providing some activities to get the message out about our issues and concerns about substance abuse, in particular opiates. And I'm sure that many of you, like myself, have been touched with the loss of loved ones. And in my case, a very good student of mine that was probably one of the first victims of this horrible scourge right after we left Utah. This good friend of mine, good colleague, he'd been a student of mine. He actually was teaching at the college where I worked at the time. Was one of probably my first experiences with an overdose. And so not to begin with a somber note, but we want to be empowered. We are going to do several activities on campus. So you'll be hearing more about that. Lucy's done a great job getting it started. She's been a fixture in this movement in our region and a leader in helping us come to grips with this challenge and see what we can do to try to turn it around. So it's my honor and privilege to address you all this morning. I sincerely hope this is the first of many of these addresses in which I review the current status of the college, our progress in serving our students and our community, and my vision for the upcoming year and beyond. I wish to acknowledge first the return of our faculty from the summer break, but also greet and thank our department chairs and our full-time staff who have worked throughout the summer to keep operations going and prepared for the return of our students and the beginning of a new year. This is a time of renewal, rededication to our mission, and to welcoming our next class of students who have chosen to begin their next phase of their lives and their journeys with us. I have, as some of you have noticed, while I've been working as your president since the end of May, I have not been as present across campus as I would have liked to have been. While I have made efforts to tour campus and meet faculty and staff as occasion permits, I've also been making efforts to establish connections with key leaders in our communities we serve before our summer comes to an end. I have traveled across the length and breadth of the Midshore region and met with county commissioners and council members, public school superintendents, local chamber of commerce presidents, economic development leaders, our local state legislative delegations, and my fellow Maryland Community College presidents, all 15 of them, one way or the other. I've also spent a great deal of time in both informal and formal meetings with our chair of the Board of Trustees. Finally, I've also spent time in Cambridge and at our center there to begin the process of putting that site in order and developing new leadership in place with the appointment of Amber Tolley McGinnis as the new interim director. I almost ran out of gas one day going to Rock Hall. That's how far I've gone. I've also completed much needed professional development to facilitate my orientation to a new role and a level of work for me as the president of your community college. I was anxious to complete these activities before the return of faculty and students for the semester. My priority now will be to be visible on campus throughout the workday as much as possible and to consolidate the orientation I must have to the college, our staff, and faculty, our students, and our academic and workforce programs. For the next few minutes, I would like to address my current understanding of where Chesapeake College is and my vision for where I would like to lead this institution into the future. First off, as many of you know from my interview process, I consider myself a product of the community college idea, a wonderful and truly American creation that began in the aftermath of World War II, in which higher education first made itself available to a broader spectrum of Americans. That was the impact, or a result of the impact, of the first GI Bill, which for the first time did right for our veterans returning from World War II and unleashed what I would call the most basic applied power of American democracy, preparing a new generation of educated Americans for one of the most dynamic periods of American history. It was a time of massive expansion of the economy and the expansion of American participation in higher education and workforce training, which fueled the American economy from the 1950s to the 1970s. I believe we are in a similar place today. Huge, dynamic, and potentially destructive forces are at play right now with a high level of risk, but also extraordinary opportunity for both traditionally aged students and adult learners as we provide them the opportunity to learn and prepare for this age that I call an information and skills economy. Even in teaching, the presence and expectations of computer applications, social media, and complex delivery systems has changed the nature of our work and instruction. Our world in higher education is part of this dynamic and challenging era of change. Of course, it's about technology and technological change and includes almost a limitless demand for skilled technicians, but also for professionals in the fields of medicine, education, science and research, information technology, and business. We still need graduates in the arts and sciences, a core element of our mission as a community college with our links to baccalaureate programs in our region and throughout the state. I began my academic life both as an entering student, but also later as a teacher in a small rural community college. It has turned out to be my life's work. I fundamentally believe in the work we do, continuing the legacy of providing opportunity and access in higher education. I believe in that, and I believe we can provide that same opportunity for our students at Chesapeake College. So that brings me to the nowness. I've been on the job for about 3 months, and I'm beginning to see what is working and what needs improvement. We are doing good things. This summer, we've made some real progress in campus safety and security with our new public safety director and her staff. She's hired some really good, wonderful, experienced, and credentialed people. Rhonda's done an excellent job in fixing a lot of things that were of concerns to our board and to a lot of you, both here and at the Cambridge Center. We've made some progress on our IT front. We've made some progress on our instructional technology. We're going to continue building on these efforts. So we're doing good things, and we can move forward now and do great things. We have talented faculty and staff. We have students who wish to learn and make progress in their lives, and we belong to a broad community that I've learned in the last 3 months absolutely loves and cherishes this institution. I also think many of you have great ideas. I've heard of some of them already. I need to hear about that, more of that. We need to evaluate those ideas, and for those that are supportable, we need to implement them. I wish to emphasize 3 major themes this year as we develop our strategic plan and develop our new leaders and staff and improve our work. These 3 themes are continuity, service, and development. We need to build on our strong foundation of excellent facilities, strong staff and faculty, and new but developing leadership. We need to strengthen our unity of work. We need to focus on what we do. We need to finish the process of consolidating the organizational changes that have been implemented in the past 18 months. A number of us are new to our jobs and our roles, but we bring enthusiasm, passion, and prior experience that does inform our current roles. We need to seek both internal and external professional development, support our colleagues and our direct reports, and consciously serve the needs of our students where they are. We will maintain and expand our transfer role with increased efforts to make our recruiting, advising, and enrollment more effective. We need to continue our work in improving retention of our existing students. We need to revisit and redevelop our role in the area of workforce education, including both non-credit and credit programming, and we need to strengthen our connections and our responsiveness and our accountability to our community we serve. I wish to share with you a few data points. When I was in California this summer learning how to be a president, there was several sessions that were very impactful. And one of them was a series of questions we were asked, which I had no answers for, and most of us did not. So I'm going to share three of them with you, and three of these slides I'm going to show you kind of illustrate these points. The first question is, what percentage of new freshman students complete academic credits their first semester? Okay? So that's where we're at right now. So actually this is from the negative side. This graph shows us the number of students that did not earn any credits their first semester. But as you can see, we're going the right direction. These are students that we lose and maybe never see again. Sometimes they come back. The second question is, what percentage of new freshman students complete gateway courses in math and English their first academic year? Okay, now again, this is a little busier, but it does demonstrate we are going in the right direction. And I'm told the primary reason, among others, is our change to GPA for placement. English and math are by far the biggest academic obstacles for student success everywhere. So the more we can do about this, the more we can help our students succeed. And my favorite place to do it is in dual enrollment. They take care of their math requirement, especially if they're an associate degree student or a completer with an associate degree, they're done. And they can get right into their programs. They don't have to worry about placement. They don't have to worry about remediation, if we do it right. The third question, actually, this is actually not the third question, but I'll go there anyways. This was one of the other questions: how many students complete 9 credits in their programs their first year? We're still kind of working on this one because as a transfer institution, as our primary mission, most of our students do this. But in programs where there's a lot of application and technology, particularly in associate degree, applied technology degrees, that 9 credits is essential to get students to success. If they wander around doing developmental English and math and reading and all those other things which they find very difficult to bear, they're going to lose their way. So the last question, which I feel really super good about, is how many credits do students accumulate upon a completion of their associate degrees? And this is a real problem out there. It's not here. There are institutions where, because of lack of advising or students kind of wandering around in the wilderness, they're accumulating lots of credits, they're not graduating on time, and they're wasting their money, and they're going into debt. We're doing this very well. If you look at the numbers, the only cohort that we have on this campus that's not finishing their associate degree with the appropriate number of credits, around 60, is our nurses. And that's because they have to take prereqs. It's a requirement. So we're doing very well there. So that's our good news. And this is my limits of technology. Okay. So as you can see from the data, we are making progress in these metrics. There are some others that we're still looking at. They include completion of credits in the major, which we're still not quite sure where we're at there, but it does look like it's in pretty good shape. We're also looking at how many students are completing programs of study their first semester, which again is a key piece of advising. It's technical, and again we struggle with that. Well, that's data that we have to dig out from the programs and the departments. But all of these get to the question of student success. we should preoccupy our minds. We need to review our program portfolio, we need to improve our service to students, and we need to continue making sure we are making the most effective use of the resources that are provided to us by our county governments, our state, our students, and our donors. We must focus on our mission. To that end, we are currently laying the foundation for our strategic planning process, which all of you will hear a lot more about today and throughout this next week. That will involve members of the Board of Trustees, executive leadership, staff, faculty, and students. We are currently finishing the process of selecting an external facilitator to provide data from focus groups, surveys, and internal and external data, and as soon as possible, a steering committee representing all the constituencies on campus, including faculty and staff, will be formed to organize the process, work with the facilitator, and ultimately develop the plan and its documentation for approval by the Board of Trustees in May 2019. With a 3 to 5 year vision, this plan will set our course for improvement and development in accordance with our mission statement and vision for the short and midterm, which we must focus on like a laser beam. This includes, firstly, service to our students, effective instruction, engaged and professional faculty and staff, up-to-date programs that connect to professional development and transfer to upper division programs in our region and throughout the state of Maryland. We must expand dynamic and responsive workforce development efforts, including non-degree and for-credit programs, links to our workforce agencies and small business development, and both outreach and location for cultural events, and other programs that directly benefit the lives of all the citizens who reside in the five-county region on the Midshore. As we develop this longer-term vision contained in our strategic plan, I will be simultaneously pursuing the following agenda, which will merge with the plan as it identifies key themes by December and, of course, is completed in detail by the spring. Number one, I will continue to develop my firsthand knowledge of the students, faculty, and staff of the institution I serve. I will be present on both the Y Mills campus and the Cambridge site to observe, interact, and listen. Number two, we will strengthen our connection to our external constituencies. Working with our Board of Trustees, I will develop relationships with principal leaders in public education, our county and local state legislators, public administrators, our business leaders and citizens, all of whom support the college financially as a matter of policy and personal interest. Number three, we will continue the high level of responsiveness and responsibility that the leadership at Chesapeake College has executed in the past year in responsible budget formation and stewardship of the resources we have been provided by our students, by our counties, and by our state. I consider this a sacred trust. Number four, working with local business and industry, we will improve our efforts to link non-credit and credit programs to the needs of our region, as well as the interests and goals of our students. Whether it be our classic and long-standing transfer mission or workforce education to provide our students meaningful professional preparation in employment opportunities on the Eastern Shore. We want to be specialists in the broad spectrum range of education, from short-term non-credit workforce training all the way through graduate school and the other certifications, all to be found at or near our campus. Number five, we will deepen our partnerships with our K-12 partners. With the resources at hand, we must work with our public education systems, the high schools, and the technology centers to articulate existing programs, leverage shared facilities, and expand access for students to college-level study. Number six, as part of our strategic planning process, we will be reviewing our program portfolio. We have a long and established history and role as the local college of first choice, where students can start their studies, save money, and then transfer to four-year institutions. We have a strong arts and sciences core. We have an excellent applied technology health sciences portfolio. Where warranted, we will review, revise, and strengthen. Number seven, recruitment and retention. Through all of these efforts, we have to improve our work with students. To facilitate student success and completion, we need to guide and advise, provide them with support they need, and encourage them to take as many classes as they possibly can, and help them find the resources to do so. We need to support our underserved populations, our veterans, and our adult learners, so they too can complete at higher rates and accomplish their personal goals. Finally, outreach to our community. Along with our educational mission is our role in providing meaningful and engaging events and opportunities for our community to learn about the world in which they live. This includes the celebration of Midshore history and culture, the enhancement of the local arts scene, exhibits, theater, and music, and the very vital contributions our students, faculty, and staff make in both their daily work and service to their local communities. Well, I think that's enough for you from me this morning. My final parting message to you today is to remember these simple things. If not us, whom? I also would ask you to stop for a moment and ask yourself, why did I choose to work at a community college? What we do is special. In the realm of higher education, we do unique and special things that make a difference, that transform lives. We need to measure, we need to be accountable, and we need to focus on what and how. But most importantly, we need to remember why we are here and why we work at a community college, and particularly Chesapeake. I wish you all a great beginning to a new semester. I hope to earn your trust and support over the next few months and the time after as we continue to make a difference for our students and the communities we serve. Thank you for listening and have a wonderful day. So this is the part you've all been working for or waiting for. Our vice presidents are going to introduce their new faculty and staff that have come to us over the last several months. I'm going to say farewell for now. You'll see me throughout the day. But again, have a great start of the semester. Each day, try to find a student to help. And I'm sure that first week there'll be lots of opportunities to do that. So again, thank you for listening and have a wonderful day.